Oh, man, it is playoff time. We didn't know if we'd get here. We went through a lot of injuries, a lot of COVID list, reserve list players, a lot of IR this year. But we're here, 18 weeks, extra game, and boy, was it some doozies. Some teams got in, some teams didn't. We're here to sort it all out. Hit that subscribe button. It's nickel and dime.
Is there any better definition for the COVID reserve list than just that, the reserve list? Because it's, I mean, like, it seems like back last year, you wasn't coming off, you know what I'm saying? And now this year, it's like, oh, yeah, you definitely reserve because you could be in there tomorrow if we need you. Like, you know?
I do like that they've changed it to where, because you remember just a few years ago, you go on IR, you're done for the year. Doesn't matter if it's week 1, doesn't matter if it's week 17, you know, like you're just done. So I'm so glad that they changed that. Yeah. But in doing so, I'm very confused. There's been times where I either like, he's coming back. I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
But he just,
because it's like 3 different designations of IR now. But I'm with you. I really do appreciate it because now it's like you hear the IR and it's like, you sort of breathe easy. Maybe some of these players are like getting that well-needed rest those couple weeks, and then they come back rejuvenated.
Yeah.
Just look at
Melvin
Melvin Gordon.
End the player's season now. Yeah, that's nice.
Melvin Gordon's a great example.
God, dude.
Running his ass off yesterday.
Oh man, that run he had where he just broke through everybody. Like, oof, ooh. It was great. I enjoyed it. I watched all the football on Sunday. I got living my retired life. You know, I just dropped up.
Yeah,
had some nachos, and I just hung out.
Got that yellow cheese. No, man, it's that was the best part about it. I swear, like the last 2 weeks, I just have fully leaned in, and Sunday comes and I'm like, nope, not doing it. Just watching football the whole day, and not caring. Sorry to my wife. Even
the good
sorrier.
thing is she loves being right there beside me. So win-win on my part, you know?
Yeah.
Her Chiefs did it. But let's start off with, I just want to touch on it because this game really didn't mean anything because the Bengals didn't play any of their starters really. But the Browns get it done without Baker.
Drew, if they'd have had that strategy a little bit earlier, a couple weeks ago, maybe the Browns would be in the playoffs. But unfortunately, I don't know. And I think that it's right on the tip of your tongue as well as it is mine. But is this the last that we've seen of Baker in a Cleveland Browns uniform, man?
They say they're retaining him.
Okay.
But that's just, they say.
You never know with NFL teams. Like, you just never know. So
I think a bigger question here is Kareem Hunt done in Cleveland?
Ew, I mean, with the thing with like his dad earlier this year and playing, not playing,
and Ernest Johnson playing pretty damn good.
It might just be a mutual parting of the ways.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like if his contract lets it be, Kareem Hunt should have plenty of suitors out there.
Oh, yeah.
If the team wants to trade him, he should maybe have a tradable contract. Not sure what that situation is, but I could see it going both ways. We talk about all the time the running game in Tennessee, how it's just a system thing. Seems to be the same thing in Cleveland, even though you do have some dogs on that roster. Like Nick Chubb will elevate. Regardless,
had a great average yesterday. Didn't run a lot, but had a great like a 5.9 yard per carry, I think, like that.
More than what you need.
Yeah. We'll talk about might be done in their respective jerseys. Is Russ done in Seattle as the Seahawks go out in style, take care of the Cardinals?
Yeah. Drew, I mean, when you think about this game, tell me you felt it. I mean, like, of course the Seahawks are going to win.
It felt like it was this old times where the Seahawks were getting ready for the playoffs, taking care of the Cardinals in the last game of the season and moving on to now they're eyeing the rest of the NFC. It's what it felt like. But unfortunately, We don't get to see Russ and Metcalf and Penny becoming the running back everybody thought he was going to eventually turn
Bro,
into.
190 yards, I think, for that guy.
Ooh.
And a touchdown. Seahawks, of course, they played the spoiler. In typical NFC West fashion, I think like you knew that they were going to be up for this game because this was a defining moment for their season. I mean, it hadn't gone the way that they thought it was going to go. And they convincingly beat the Arizona Cardinals. Now, Arizona Cardinals should be a little worried. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Bumbling.
Yeah, bro, they couldn't stop. Defense couldn't stop anybody. They couldn't stop the run.
Talk about a system
either.
run. You know, like no matter, it seemed like the Seahawks had a down year, but every running back that they put into the game went off. Like I remember Alex Collins had a couple of games, Penny had some games, Homer had some games. Like it seemed like every single week their lead back would get 100+ yards.
Well, and that's definitely the examples that you're looking for a good system, running system that they have. It's funny that the Seahawks can definitely run block, but they can't pass block worth of shit. So
Russell's got the ball. Hey.
Right. Maybe they just hate Russell. I don't know. Like maybe you have to ask them boys that. Maybe they should ask them that in the exit interview.
Yeah.
You know, do you hate Russell Wilson? And maybe that might lead to his departure. But Drew, the Cardinals offensive line gave up so much pressure just to an okay Seahawks pass rush. I mean, Poona Ford had 2 sacks yesterday.
Who?
You know what I'm saying? A defensive tackle. So from that's how you know. The boys just gave up. They had the chance. Cardinals had a chance for a home game, Drew, and they gave it up. They gave it up.
Yeah, because their counterparts lost. Rams got beat by the 49ers. So all the Cardinals had to do was win, and they win the division. It seemed like no one out of having 3 teams from the same division to make the playoffs, none of them wanted to win the division.
In the end, that's what it seems like. And not only that, but it kind of puts a spotlight on the Cardinals because the Cardinals started 8-0, did they not? And they end up at the 5 seed. 10-1.
11-6.
As the 5 seed. That tells you everything you need to know about the crossroads that the Cardinals are at right now. Drew, you know.
Yeah. I can't wait. I can't wait to talk about that first round matchup. Stay tuned. We're getting into all the playoff games.
Let's do it.
But
I'm ready, baby. It's super wild card weekend. Make sure you get it right.
Super wild card because we got a game on Monday, 2 games on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday, and 1 game on Monday. It's going to be a great weekend yet again.
Makes your Monday even better.
Oh, right. So talk about the Cardinals stumbling. Stafford threw 2 more picks, Shawn.
Drew, I think he has thrown 8 interceptions in the last couple games. I think 3 or 4 games, something like that. So averaging 2 a game, this dude. And listen, before we get into the game, I just gotta say, Sean McVay be doing some clown shit, bro. I'm sorry. It's all fun and games when you up 17-0. You giving high fives in the end zone. The ref is shooing you out.
The ref's like, you can't be here.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Where is all of this when your team winds up losing the game? Where's that same enthusiasm? Keep that same energy. And
can't do it, man. He feeds off of it.
You can't do it. It just makes him look stupid.
Yeah. Well, we both missed this in our locks. We both said the Rams were going to beat the 49ers. So the 49ers showed us.
They did.
Jimmy G, 316 yards, a touchdown. He did throw 2 picks as well.
Yeah. Listen, Drew, it's just another game about Jimmy G that makes you doubt what you think you might know about him. You know?
He wins. I don't understand how, but he wins.
And this is a gritty performance from this dude with the injured thumb.
He says he can't. He says he technically can't feel his thumb in his throwing hand.
Well,
and the webbing,
feel it.
And he says the webbing in between his pointer and his thumb is just so tender. Anytime you touch it, he wants to start crying.
Well, it need to stay tender because maybe that's the winning. Maybe that's what's helping him win. I mean, he only missed 9 passes, Drew. But picks aside, and this is why I don't necessarily mind the picks in this situation because they needed to come back. They had to throw the ball.
He had to chuck it.
There's going to be more opportunities for picks, but everybody on the team deserves credit because the team brought them back. It wasn't just Jimmy G. It was a running game. It was the coaching. It was the defense. And listen, let's talk about our boy, Mr. Debo. That's my chain punk Samuel. Somebody please pay that man right now.
Talk about the Ohtani of the NFL right now. Like this was the year that Ohtani blew up in baseball.
Yep.
Samuel deserves the same. Him and Patterson, they deserve. They're the freaking definition of most valuable player.
Yes.
Like I know most valuable player award has gone to some, like it's turned into who's the best quarterback.
It has.
But when you're talking about most valuable to your team, take Deebo Samuel away from the 49ers and tell me how good they played yesterday.
Preach. And listen, this is how you know we on the same wavelength, because that's literally what I wrote in my notes. I was like, talk about an MVP candidate, but I believe for as good as Patterson has been this year, Deebo has been better because Debo's not even in his prime yet, and he's still
figuring it out. He's still figuring out the player. He's becoming, because he still doesn't truly know if he's a running back or a wide receiver.
No, you know? But and this is where I think you'll see Deebo elevate, is because this NFL knows how to use players like that. They didn't know how to use Patterson when he came out.
They did.
You know what I mean?
And that's why I think Devin Hester could have had an even better career.
Yep. Already
he was a dynamic kick returner.
Yep.
But like, if he could have been actually used in the offense, come on.
It's just, and you want to know what it is. Really what it is that NFL just wanted to keep people in boxes. That's all they wanted to do.
Yep. Pocket passers. That's why it took so long to get a dual threat quarterback in there.
Yep. But listen, this for a running team, San Francisco, bro, they had 3 wide receivers almost to 100 yards. I think it wasn't Deebo, but maybe it was Ayuk. Ayuk had the most yards, but talk about Jawan Jennings. If you go back and look at our NFC West preview show, we mentioned Jawan Jennings and him making a team as a 7th rounder, and he was going to make an impact. It finally showed up, nickel and dime. This is why you like to subscribe. This is why you come here for this content, baby. We got you. That little known player from Wisconsin, Bumhell State. We know him.
Yeah, and be ready because we're going to do it all again next year too.
Yes, we are.
Well, Titans lock up the number 1 seed. Texans made it tough, though. Can we talk for a split second about how Mr. Mills has at least bought him some time in Houston?
I'm telling you, listen, we talked about that. Talk about a preview show. Go back and watch our AFC, what are they? AFC South preview show. Davis Mills, we mentioned him as well. Like, this is a quarterback who, if you look at his Stanford tape, looked a lot like Andrew Luck. Not in his production, but in the style of play. Yeah. In the style of play. And it's working. That dude he at least needs to be in the conversation.
Yeah, on a day that his team combined for 64 rushing yards, he took the number 1 team in the division to the limit. He was 23 for 33, 301 yards, 3 touchdowns.
I just love when, like, you can tell that is a dude who don't care what you say, and he's just pushing out all the noise. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he's playing football, man.
He
knows he's on a bad team.
Exactly. And that's what it is. Like, his back is against the wall. Like, it can't get any more against the waller. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It can't. So, like, ball out. Like, that's it's pure football, just like Drew said, man.
On the flip side of that, is it kind of safe to say that, and in the end, it might have been a little bit of a blessing that King Henry got hurt? Because when's the last time you heard this stat line from Ryan Tannehill? 287 yards, 4 touchdowns.
And I think, weirdly enough, I think there was another game since Henry was out that he did have a 4 TD day. I'm not certain. But to Drew's point, that's exactly right, because you don't find this stuff out unless you take away a third
trial by fire,
half of your offense. You know what I'm saying? So exactly, you figured out you got Deontay Foreman ready to run the rock. You know what I'm saying? Like, good backup. What's his contract situation like? I'm damn sure curious. You know what I mean? So like, now King Henry's coming back. Hopefully, and Drew, I'll speak to the old adage, talk about drama, but
drama. I love
it. It's the Kyrie Irving situation for Duke in 2011 when he came back. Like, is it going to throw off the chemistry?
That's the chemistry. Yeah.
Is it going to
mess
up
the so
chemistry?
Weird. That was so weird to see. Who was the point guard?
Nolan Smith.
That dude was a beast. And then
the year after,
and then Kyrie came back and he's like,
but now, like, in hindsight, quick aside here, but in hindsight, Kyrie kind of messes chemistry up, you know what I'm saying? Except for that one time. So maybe this was a look into the future for Kyrie Irving.
Should have stayed in Cleveland. Whatever.
But yeah, so I don't know, man. Drew, what you think about Tennessee though, bro?
I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with in the AFC. You know what I mean? Especially if Henry comes back. I say they keep Foreman in the rotation. I don't know. I don't think you got 100% go right back to Henry. I think you give him some spells because Foreman looked great in his absence.
Yep.
If you got Julio and Brown and Ferkshire stepping up, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
Well, I think this could be a very deadly offense.
It can be. Now, I say all that, like, I'm pretty down on Julio. Like, Julio.
That's fair. Is he done? You think
he might be done, but they still have enough, even without Julio. The threat of Julio Jones.
AJ Brown is just
right.
I hope they draft another young wide receiver to complement him.
I think you have to.
It'd be great.
I think you have to. But just a quick note before we move on. Yes, I think to your point, yes, you have to keep him in the rotation because maybe this is what Derrick Henry needs in order to stay healthy.
Too many carries, man.
Too many carries. Yep, and it's gonna catch up.
It did. All right. Well, before we move on from our recap, we got. I just want to talk this crazy AFC playoff picture that unfolded on Sunday. It all started with the Steelers taking care of the Ravens. So you're saying there's a chance.
So you're saying
there's a chance. So Big Ben, 30 for 44, 244 yards, a touchdown and a pick. Reality finally caught back up to Mr. Huntley. He threw 2 picks.
Yeah.
But Baltimore, 249 rushing yards as a team. Not terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fantastic.
Yeah. Drew, the NFL just can't quit Ben Roethlisberger, man. They can't quit him. They can't. And the Steelers, Pittsburgh gets into the show 9-7-1. And people say they hate ties. You know, like, how fitting is it that people hate ties enough that one tie got a team into the playoffs and one tie would have got 2 other teams into the playoffs?
Oh, we're going to talk about it because I got a lot to say about that game.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Big Ben's not done. But you know who is? Mr. Carson Wentz.
Oof. Yes.
Talk about a meltdown, my guy.
Oh my God.
185 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Jonathan Taylor had a 5.1 yard average, but only had 77 yards.
Well, they were behind the whole damn game, Drew.
I get it, but if you're looking at what Jonathan Taylor can do on any given play, and you're looking at what Carson Wentz can do on any given play, I'm still running the ball.
That's not a bad way to approach it, honestly. Like, I mean, there is 4 quarters. You have time until they didn't. But
they didn't. 11 points, my dude. They scored 11 points.
Jacksonville, honestly, Drew, Jacksonville was the ultimate winner yesterday because not only did you manage to ruin a division rival's chance to get into the playoffs, but you still keep the number 1 pick in the draft. How in the world does that happen?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
You thank Jared Goff. That's what you do.
Yeah, well, true. Yeah, you definitely do that. But that's the crazy thing, man, is like, that's how crazy of a season that this has been. Where do they do that at? Duval. That's where they do that at. That's where they
talk about turning things around, man. Like, finally, Mr. Lawrence had a good game, 223 yards, 2 touchdowns. He didn't turn the ball over.
He didn't. He looked like the number 1 pick, finally.
Jaguars looked like they had fun on the field for the first time all year.
So and this is the problem. Like, it was bad. Like, Indianapolis, bro, like, offense was bad, defense was bad, and like Jacksonville gets paid too, Drew. You know what I'm saying? Like, they get paid too. And honestly, like, the whole Indianapolis team should be ashamed of themselves, especially the defense, because they let the ghost of Marvin Jones cook their ass. You know what I'm saying?
115.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was crazy. Like, that Marvin Jones. I want to say, like, listen, like, talking about offensive and defensive line, like, winning in the trenches is key. And both of their lines were dominated. Like, so the defensive line only got 1 sack on number 1 pick Trevor Lawrence, 6 sacks given up by that Colts offensive line. And that's
how many of those were the line's fault and how many were Wentz's indecisiveness?
That I don't know, but you can always attribute some of that to Carson Wentz, like him holding the ball.
He does. He seems to go through his progressions and then be like, wait a minute, let me go one more time. You know, because he has that reset about him where he's like,
you can't reset the game like a Nintendo, baby. Like, it ain't happening.
It's like my man's trying to give you the right change, but he has to count it like 3 or 4 times. He's like, hold on. It's just I don't know, man. I don't get it. It seems like it's not there.
Yeah.
So where we stand now, Steelers are in as long as the Raiders and Chargers don't tie. Colts are out. Well, I'll be damned if the Raiders and Chargers didn't do their best to try to tie.
They really did.
What a game, man. Oh,
really
man.
did.
It was super late on the East Coast. So I don't know how much of it you got to watch, but
yes,
I had like one eye open trying to finish it because it was late. I'll give it to it, but man, what a game. Herbert and Carr, talk about a quarterback duel to the death. It was amazing.
Herbert, and like, even in a loss, Herbert is the truth. Like, he is the truth. He is
6
the truth,
for
man.
6 on 4th downs.
Proves it week in and week out, that guy. Drew, like, for the Charger defense let him down. Like, in my opinion, the pick and like
that coach taking a timeout let him down.
Hey, talk about that rookie head coach.
I wonder if they're about to take a knee. Like, you know, you can say it all you want to after you got that W in hand.
Yeah,
you can say, be like, if y'all would have called that timeout, we wouldn't have done that.
Right.
But we don't know
when you win. Yeah,
we don't know
when you win too. Right. The pick, and honestly, like, he threw a pick. I think he might have thrown a couple picks, maybe one, whatever it was. Because, like, I you're right. I watched the highlights.
I understand. It was late.
In the highlights, like, I was sitting there, I was at work, like, you know, like, the whole time.
Every time you thought one of the teams were done, they weren't.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
Straight drama, and then like the Raiders had that game won, and then like multiple out of nowhere. Times. This is why you love the NFL, baby. This is why
there was back-to-back 4th down conversions on that last drive.
So many, and Drew, they weren't 4th and shorts.
I was losing my mind when they went for 2 to make it a 7-point game. Like, they just had to kick the point, make it an 8-point game. But Staley was like, "Nah, we're doing it now." I was holding my breath then.
Well, I feel like maybe in that situation, like, maybe because you already know you need it, like, try it now, because you know you got to get another touchdown.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So, like, I don't know, like, I don't really care, not care, but like, I understand it. And at that point,
it's nice to see different styles of coaching.
Oh yeah,
you know, different philosophies. Like, it's good to see, like, you know, it's not one way of thinking, but it's nice to see that from time to time.
Yeah, it is. And sometimes it doesn't work. It's still good to see it. But, you know, we got to get over to the team that won the game. The Raiders, honestly, talking about the 49ers.
The playoffs without John Gruden.
Right. But the Raiders are a team nobody wants to face. Their wide receivers just get open, Drew. They just get open.
Zay Jones, man,
continues to show out, given his opportunities. Shout out East Carolina. We're going to do it again. And Renfro is a dog, bro.
They had to double him the whole night. They doubled him the whole night.
Couldn't do nothing. Still couldn't do nothing.
Waller, I want Waller to be healthy, though. You could still see something is wrong with my man. Like, he wasn't trying to catch those balls that he normally would just Go for it.
Well, I think it's good that he got out there in the last game of the season. He didn't need to. They were like, well, they did. They really did need him to, but like he didn't have to do too much, and they still won the game. Was able to put up that many points. I think that bodes well. But to your point, this is what I want to see. Like, give the Raiders a good draft right now. Give them boys a good draft right now, and like they could just as easily win the AFC West next year.
You think
we're seeing right now?
You think my man won him a coaching job?
What great tee up, because I was getting ready to ask the question: does Rich Bisaccia need to be in the Coach of the Year conversation?
Oh, no doubt. Like, it's crazy that you can coach half a year, but wow, what a half! What a half!
You know, and I mean, Drew, the Raiders beat the media, including our darling in the Chargers, to send them boys.
That's why I wanted it to be a tie, man, because of course the Raiders won me over. Because I have to be honest with myself.
Yeah.
I'm a Carr fan. I like watching him play.
Yeah. I wasn't as much of a Carr fan, but I'll be honest, this season has really, I'm on the Carr train now.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
we forget
Carr,
he almost took his team. He took his team to the AFC playoffs and then broke his shin or ankle or something. Like,
so we really don't know. Have we seen Derek Carr in the playoffs at this point? We haven't.
We saw.
So it's about time.
I forgot what his backup's name was.
Oh, was it like McGloin? Matt McGloin?
Yeah. Oh,
damn.
Yeah. Ghost of quarterbacks past.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, you want to know when this going to hit us, though, Drew? We're still riding off the high of how great this game was. But when we look at Pittsburgh and Kansas City next week, we are going to wish it was the LA Chargers. You know what I'm saying? Because the Chiefs didn't want to see them Chargers, right?
Yeah.
They didn't want to see them.
So if they would have ended up tying, the Raiders would have played the Chiefs.
And the Raiders didn't want to see the Chiefs. So, yeah,
it would have been Bengals, Chargers, Raiders, or Chargers went to Cincinnati.
Okay.
And the Raiders went to
Dang.
Yeah.
Dang.
We got robbed of those great games. But you live in life. Real quick, last recap note, and we'll get out of here. Lions beat the Packers because Mr. Jordan Love threw 2 picks. How's that future looking? Huh? Yeah.
Bleak if you're hoping on Jordan Love.
You're letting Aaron Rodgers do whatever he wants to this day.
Well, they took them boys out. I don't know if they took all their starters out, but when I saw that they lost, the only thing I was thinking is like, you can't let that man be that much of your team that when he leaves and you still have starters out there. And I don't really know, so hit us up in the comments if this is the case. But if you had starters out there and you lose to that Detroit team, that does not bode well going into the playoffs. I'm sorry. It doesn't. It just doesn't. So
a lot of NFC letdowns heading into the playoffs. It's going to be very interesting.
Bro, that first quarter in the Tampa game, I was like, we better not do it. And then they wound up coming back. So that's why we ain't talking about it.
We're not a second half team. Okay. All right, let's get into 3 and out because I got some questions to ask you. But
let's do it.
You first, sir.
All right. Oh man, I've been like, I feel so gracious. Like, what a gracious host. My man's giving me the first down shot like the last 4 weeks, and we're all happy and we're thankful for it. Okay, Drew, I'm coming out. I'm spitting hot fire. Dylon. Which home wild card team is most likely to lose based on their matchup?
Okay, I'm going Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, Dallas limping into the playoffs. Not this past game. They put up a 50 burger, but I don't know. I mean, they have a chance. They definitely have a chance going against that 49er team for sure.
That's the one that jumps out at me.
Yeah.
Although the Patriots Bills is going to be, as good old JR says, a slobber knocker.
Yeah. What a word. It's such a great word.
Right.
Damn, man. But yeah, I stewed on this question, and
But then you got Raiders, Bengals too. You know what I mean? So like Bengals could be not thinking that much of the Raiders. Like,
I think the only two games that really, even one game that really, because I really don't know, especially I was going to say two games, the Tampa game, but like the only game I think that might be a blowout is the Pittsburgh Kansas City game. That one has a blowout factor.
If you say it, it's not going to happen.
That's why I put it out there, baby. That's why I put it out there.
It's like the commentators like, he hasn't missed a field goal in 52 attempts.
Yep.
Wide left.
Hell yeah. All right, what you got on second down, bro?
Second down, since they let their fans and everyone in the entire state of Indiana down. Can the Colts win with Carson Wentz and Frank Reich?
No. Frank Reich, yes. Carson Wentz, no. And I didn't even get to this no when we were talking about this game, but like the way he let that team down with 3 turnovers, Drew, I don't think there's any player that is on that roster right now that can feel comfortable with him moving forward. Like,
don't you ruin Jonathan Taylor. Don't you ruin him.
Don't. And that's the problem though, is like you have all of that on that team. Somebody, I was just listening to a podcast on the way home. Put Marcus Mariota on that team.
Which, by the way, was a part of the reason the Raiders won last
Yes, sir. That package is legit, and they need to keep running.
That read option last week. You knew it was coming.
Yep.
And you couldn't stop it.
They run a lot of that. They run a lot of that anyway. But like, that's what I'm saying. 3 turnovers in the biggest spot against the worst team, and you have that team that's supposed to have your back, and you can't get it done.
You pick any team in the NFL yesterday, and you say, "Hey, pick your own opponent. All you got to do is win, and you're in the playoffs." Every team's going to pick the Jaguars.
32 teams, including the Jaguars, would have picked the Jaguars.
Like, can we play ourselves? We'll play ourselves.
Yeah, let's play our defense.
Might have had some Texans, but you don't want to see Mills and those guys. Like 10 out of 10 times you're picking the Jaguars, and they could not get it done against said Jaguars.
Nope. I'm with you. Yeah. I don't think that they can. I don't think that they can. Now, the question, honestly, so to piggyback off your question, Drew, where do you think they go?
Because he's under contract for another year.
That's what I'm saying.
I heard it's $20 million to keep him next year. 15 mil dead cap space if they get rid of him.
I mean, what's 15 mil to a billionaire?
I mean, you got to see, what do you get? 200 as a cap?
And the cap's going up
next year. Yeah,
I think it's maybe like
180 something. So I think it's going up to like 2.
Yeah, so like that's what I'm saying. Eat it.
I mean, make him be your backup.
Yeah.
Make
new year, new you. No,
you got him under contract for a year. It doesn't matter if he gets pissed. Make him be your backup.
Yeah.
Bring in a Mariota. Bring in somebody. Bring in Gardner Minshew.
Minshew too.
All right. What you got on third down?
Third down. All right. Should we go small? It's like small time, talking about an individual, or should we go large scale?
Come on, give me big time. Give me
big time. All right, big time. Picture. Drew, which team that just fired their coach, which we'll talk about in a second.
Ooh.
Which team that just fired their coach will make the playoffs in 2023? Vikings, Bears, and Dolphins.
I think the Dolphins have the best chance. Because barring a really good draft, Chicago could turn some things around. You know what I mean? They got those defensive pieces. Both teams have a really good defense, a young quarterback, and not a lot of weapons.
Yeah. And we don't know how the quarterback's going to pan out though either though.
I would give right. Just because he's got one extra year and he showed some good decision making. If they could get a stud running back, if they could hit in the draft like the Colts did with Taylor.
Yeah.
if they could get a stud running back and be that defense and hard-nosed running team, Miami could be there.
Yeah. Actually, it's like we keep hinting at the draft. Like we haven't done our research at this point, but like I'm very curious to see what is the class that is there's got to be best class. Like, is it defensive ends? Is it running backs?
There's got to be a position, right? Yeah. There's got to be a position that this is your year,
right?
You know what I mean? Yep. I've seen some mocks, and it could be pass rusher. Could be one of those years.
I feel like we've been getting a great receiver class for the past like 4 or 5 years.
I don't know if this is the year. Yeah, I don't know if the receivers are going to be there this year.
Yeah, I'm ready to watch the tape.
Yeah, right.
But not yet, because my team's still in it. Goddamn.
Yeah, I was about to say I can get excited about this. You got time.
Yeah.
All right, 4th down.
Yeah, we go.
We're doing NFC quarterbacks. Who do you trust more? Obviously, it's not. We trust Brady. We trust Rodgers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kyler gets a pass here. So who do you trust more as an NFC playoff team? Prescott, Jimmy G, Stafford, or Hurts?
Ooh. I mean, maybe it's the easy answer. Like, I'm probably going to go Prescott. Okay. Definitely going to go Prescott.
Because they've all let you down. You know what I mean? They've all, to a certain extent. And Hurts maybe has been the most consistent.
That's what I was going to say, is like Hurts is definitely my number 2 out of that 4 group, because Jimmy G, for as great as he was yesterday, we know what we've seen from him.
And Stafford going to turn the ball over.
And Stafford has been turning the ball over.
You just got to hope it's not a pick 6 at this point.
Right. He just don't want it. You know what I mean? So I don't know what is going to happen with LA. They could win the Super Bowl. They could be out next week.
Talk about the biggest if, ands, or but team.
Yeah, man. I don't know how it's going to shake out, but I can't wait to see it, baby.
That's why I can't wait to see it. I don't have a team in it, so I just get to be excited.
Quick question, Drew. Like, for as crazy as the season has been, like, talk about, like, you know, we reviewing the play real quick. For as crazy as the season has been, Drew, what do you think the odds are that we get two playoff overtime games this coming weekend?
Oh, no, I think it's a given. The way this season's going, like, come on, like, we're getting at least 2 overtime out of these 6.
I hope so, man. Just not my game, but I hope so.
Not my game.
Yeah. Oh,
because I mean, off gates, you can see the Bills and Patriots and the Cardinals and Rams going to the death.
Yeah. Know? Yeah, and the Rams are at home though, and that's the crazy thing, which we're gonna talk about it in a little bit.
The Bills Mafia too.
We just gonna wait. We're gonna wait. We're gonna
talk
get
into that.
Stay
preview.
tuned.
Real quick.
And subscribe, baby. Let's go.
Real quick, just got some housekeeping notes, and then we'll get into the playoffs.
All right.
Stay tuned for those locks, because I'm taking the AFC. Sean's taking the NFC. So no overlapping going into the playoffs.
Holding it down.
Like you said, as you alluded to, some firings. Chicago got rid of Nagy and the GM.
Yeah, came back around. They thought about it. They was like, well, we're going to stew on this.
Let's get rid of him too.
Yeah.
And then Vikings do the same. Get rid of Zimmer and the GM as well.
Yeah, Rick Spielman, I feel like should have been out of there, bro. Like, he should have been out of there. Thank you for Justin Jefferson. But holding on for Kirk Cousins, got to go.
Got to go. Lions fire Anthony Lynn as their offensive coordinator. Some sources knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
But the big one, the big question mark, we alluded to it earlier, Flores out in Miami.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Apparently,
you go on a 7-game win streak. You finish 9-8. Barely missed the playoffs after starting
on a win.
0-7 or 1-7, whatever you started off.
Beating a playoff team.
Yeah.
It's and like the only thing I've seen, Drew, is like people are like, maybe this is a firing that is not because of a coaching from a coaching standpoint. Like, maybe they just don't like him. And I think that's what
he seems like, a hard-nosed military,
right?
My system is my system kind of guy, you know.
But if the only that's the problem though, is like Bill Belichick could do that because he has rings, he has clout. Flores can't, because
he comes from that school.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, you should have known that before you hired him, what you're getting. Like, the product on the field hasn't been that bad. I mean, the man's just missed the playoffs on a 7-game win streak, beat a playoff, beat his rival, beat his mentor.
He's made mediocre teams play way better than they should.
Yep. So keep giving them drafts.
Will he be the first coach off the board? You think he'll be the first hire?
This is the thing. I don't think usually in this is, I guess this is more an opinion than anything, but like, if you just get fired, I want you to take a step back before you take another step forward. So honestly, he would be my number one defensive coaching candidate. I had a daydream today that he got fired. Todd Bowles took another job. Please don't do that. And we try to go after Brian Flores. Like, I've already seen some teams fans want to go after Brian Flores for their defensive coordinator position because he should be the number one taken off the board. For sure.
Early rumors is he's the next Chicago head coach.
That could work in Chicago. That could work.
Yeah.
They already got
they want that hard-nosed football, man.
Yeah. Resurgent Robert Quinn.
Yeah. Mack. Well, Mr. Watt tied Strahan's single season sack mark, 22 and a half sacks.
20.
And he was hurt. He had some injuries.
Bro, I think, like, I don't know what it was. What did he end up with last week? Like, last week, how many did he need this game to tie the record?
I'm not sure.
Well, I want to say, like, well, yeah, we might have to look, but I think it was like 4 fucking sacks. And he got him. And he fucking got him. Like, I was like, oh, he need 4. He ain't getting that.
He ain't getting that. Let's see how many box score. How many sacks did he get this week?
Yeah. Check that.
Oh, he just got the 1.
Oh, so he just needed 1. So damn, I mean, he ended with 3 more sacks last week. Oh my God. That dude is and honestly, like, it's better for, like, Strahan, if you're on this boat, didn't really deserve the record because Brett Favre gifted Strahan that record. So really, it should be TJ Watts and TJ Watts alone. So we are going to give it to TJ Watt.
Is he the defensive player of the year?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. He's got to be. Bigger question is, Drew, who's the MVP? Who is the MVP?
It's got to come down to a 2-person race at this point. It's we all know it's Rodgers or Brady.
I don't know who they're going to give it to, though.
I know
I have my favorite.
I truly don't know who they're going to give it to.
Yeah.
Because you got to give offensive player of the year to Taylor.
Definitely. And it would have been Derrick Henry had he not been injured, but Taylor's that dude. Yeah.
Fair enough. Arizona expects Connor and Watt to be back for the playoffs. So that's good news for Arizona.
It is.
Please, sir, well, let's get Gettleman retires from the Giants. Finally, get out of the league, sir. Good riddance. Goodbye. But can you please give us what you're hearing about the Bucs injury update? Because defensive back Dean and wide receiver Grayson both left with hamstring injuries against Carolina. So to add to that banged up roster,
it is not what we need right now. is not. I mean, like, we have always, for some reason, Mike and literally every other wide receiver or skill position player has had hamstring injuries, and I don't know what it is about Tampa and hamstring injuries, but we can't get past it for years.
Yeah.
So I'm curious. I've been looking. I haven't really seen a whole bunch. They're probably going to keep it pretty close to the chest. I just want the defense. I want Shaq back. I want JPP to finally be healthy. I don't know what that situation is, if he's going to play. I want Leonard back. That's who I really want. I want Leonard back. If I can't have Godwin, give me Leonard.
Because he was catching the ball really.
Yes, for Tom Brady's sake. And give me more Le'Veon Bell. Like, I'm sorry if he's not running the ball, but you don't know what the fuck he is going to do when he's in the game, okay? Get him in there.
For sheer entertainment purposes, I want to see him in there.
Yeah.
I want to see him have a little resurgence. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. We need it.
Chaos. All right. Well, let's get into these playoffs, man, because it is super wild card weekend. Taking over our TVs Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And I can't wait.
TV will have an S on this chest.
First game They barely made it in last night. The Las Vegas Raiders at Cincinnati Bengals.
Bro, but they did. That's the only thing that matters. You know what I'm saying?
Carr willed that team into the playoffs, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, I'm so like, I'm actually, you talked me into it. I'm very glad that like we're getting to see Derek Carr in the playoffs now. We talked about it before, but I really need them to mix in that Mariota package.
Like, yes, it worked. The last 2 games, it's worked. Keep it going.
It breathes life, man. And right now, I just want them to have a good draft, because right now they have everything. They lost so much in the receiver position, but they gained so much by giving these guys opportunities. Yeah. Josh Jacobs, we told you he was going to do what he does.
Yeah,
we told you. And now I think they ride that train, man.
They could start mixing in some other options too with the Mariota packages. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like maybe you do a little pass to Carr. You know what I mean? Like maybe he is a decoy on the side, but take advantage of it. I don't know. But we saw Carr in this offense stick with Herbert, trading blow for blow.
Right.
Can he do it with Burrow and this talented wide receiver core?
Man, that's the question. That's the question, because that Cincinnati has those weapons, and I want to know, the passing game I'm not worried about, but I want to know if Mixon can get back, because he kind of had a down couple of weeks. Yeah. And the way that the Raiders were treating that Charger offensive line, I'm very high on the Raiders pass rush right now. Oh my God,
dude! Like every play, and talk about my man doesn't take a single play off. Crosby was out there from start to finish, and he was not near he was killing that lineman for the Chargers.
Oh Norton, my God.
Norton? Is that his name?
Yes.
My man looked like he was dying, and Crosby was sitting there doing jumping jacks in between plays. Like, come on. What?
He turned that man into a turnstile. Like, oh my God. Oh my God. I don't want to see his PFF grade, please. But that's what I want to see, because it's go time, Drew. It is go time. He needed it, and he's
just happy to be in the league, man. And it's all over his face.
Yep. And good on him, considering what he went through, man. But Cincinnati's at home, Drew. Like, do you think that matters in this game, the way that the Raiders have been playing?
No doubt, because the Bengals haven't won a playoff game since 1991.
Damn, that's a long time.
So if they get a lead, that place is going to be electric.
I'm so happy we have fans this year. It's like these last couple of games, it was loud in Las Vegas last night.
Yeah, that Death Star was moving.
And not only that, talking about crowds, but in LA, and this is the problem for LA though, which we'll talk about in a second. But that San Fran LA game yesterday, every time any team made a play, it was ruckus in that arena. You know what I'm saying? So this is the problem and also with Tampa, which I think Tampa has had better success here recently with their fans not giving it up to other teams. But LA's a destination city, Drew. People are going to want to travel there.
There were Steelers fans there last night. They kept cutting to them, and they were pissed when it looked like it was going to be a tie.
So, you know what I mean? So, you're right. It probably does matter, man. It probably does matter.
Well, one game where it's 125% going to matter. The next game on our list, the New England Patriots have to go venture to Bills Mafia land.
Yeah.
And has to rummage through the broken tables and the frozen tundra and a possible snow game. I hope it's a snow game. Ooh. God, I hope it's a snow game.
Will the football gods be as nice to us as we want them to be?
They better give us 2 snow
late Christmas
games.
Present.
It better be snowing in Kansas City, and it better be snowing in Buffalo.
Drew, we talked about it before. I'm glad I don't have to pick this game, because honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, if Buffalo having New England come to them in the playoff scenario, winning the division.
Yeah.
In a 1-game scenario, you about to get everything thrown at you. And I don't know what do you think? Well, I'm glad I don't have to pick it, because I don't know if New England can overcome that.
It's a backyard brawl with your older brother, but now you're bigger than your older brother.
It's like the first time.
Yeah.
Oh,
but he's still your older brother, so he could beat you on any given day.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you're bigger and tougher now.
But you think you about to whoop his ass.
Right. But because you got to break it, you got to look at it this way. It usually comes down, playoff games usually come down to coaching, quarterback play, and defense.
Running game. We
all know who wins the advantage on the running game.
Yeah.
It's not even a question.
Yeah.
So Patriots advantage on the running game. Quarterback play, you got to give it to Buffalo. Because yes, Mack could be there, but he's still a rookie. We keep forgetting.
We don't know how he's going to play.
Productive rookie, you know, but he's still a rookie.
Yeah.
Coaching, come on, the GOAT's on the sideline.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Love McDermott, but he's not Belichick.
I'm glad that they have the rookie getting that from the best coach, though. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to have the rookie, have the best coach.
Yeah. Now this defense, this is a toss-up. Because on any given day, either team could have the advantage defensively.
Right.
But the way they've been playing, I'm going to give the slight edge to Buffalo.
Okay.
So when you think about it, the four main aspects, that's 2-2.
Yeah.
So this game really could go down to anybody. It could be who's got the ball at the end of the game, you know?
For everything that you just mentioned as being like very important, which you're exactly right, the X factor and this X factor seems to play so much of a role more so in playoff games. It's the turnover battle. You know what I'm saying? Because like as soon as you turn the ball over, it's like you start clock watching, and it's like for a 60-minute game that lasts 3 hours, I swear it seems like these games last an hour and a half.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's so much, it's so paramount. So if we get a snow game, that could definitely add to that problem. So like I'm very curious to see how this happens, how it shakes out. You know what I'm saying? I think you definitely see desperate Josh Allen, which means you're going to see a running Josh Allen this weekend.
Yeah. No holds barred, man. It's playoff time.
It's playoff time. It's go time. And he want a chip. He want to get them Chiefs again. And I want to see it, baby. Let me get full Buffalo this weekend, baby.
Nice. I like it, man. Next up, it's your boys. It's the Philadelphia Eagles traveling to Tampa to take care of Brady, on Brady and the Bucks.
Yeah, man. I'm glad that we got this matchup for the Bucks. Like, I don't know how the Eagles fans feel about it. Paul, if you out there, man, you want to send us your team update, seeing how you feel about the game. We love to see it, man. Love to hear it. Any Eagles fan, if y'all out there, hit us up. But for the Bucks, I think we wanted this matchup. It was the best case scenario for us. Hence why they actually have video of the Bucks watching the San Francisco LA Rams matchup in the locker room, seeing it.
Right, who we played.
Right. So, but gritty Philly team, rested starters.
No pressure here.
No pressure.
They shouldn't be here in the first place, so who cares?
And talk about running quarterback, Jalen Hurts is going to be running. They're going to do anything and everything. So Tampa has got to come to play. And this is the problem, though, is like Tampa is not looking as great as they need to coming into
everywhere.
Well, they're hurt. And like the Devin White, you supposed to be that dude, man. Like you need Levante bad, bro. You ain't that dude. I'm sorry. Yeah. Like you are not that dude this year. Prove me
Barrett
wrong.
Coming back.
That's so the injuries are going to play. We, stick to our IG, stick to our Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Like, see, we'll have updates there, but we'll see on the updates because we haven't really got much out of Tampa. But for the offensive standpoint, Drew, like the good point is like they finally got Scotty Miller involved, Bashard Perriman's involved, Mike Evans finally running after the catch.
Eighth season. Congrats.
Yeah, eighth season. Yeah. So they're getting other people involved. They're going to have to, because if people are injured, we don't have Godwin. We don't have Antonio Clown. We need other people to step up. OJ Howard, please get involved. Please get involved.
I didn't even know he was still on y'all's team.
So I'm saying he just be blocking or sitting
Gronk,
on the bench.
I did appreciate Brady came back in to get Gronk that incentive, that bonus.
Yeah,
that was cool. You can say what you want about Brady. Bad teammate has never been one of the things you could say.
Definitely not at
Dude's
all.
definition of great teammate.
Gabbert was warmed up. Brady was like, no, sit down. Like
Sit
this
down.
for this last play. And before we move on from this game, I know you probably have all seen the meme yet when Brady was like, ooh, that's how you know that they were interested. Because it was the coach. That's what it was. The coach came over and told Brady.
That's what he said to him.
San Francisco is tied up with LA. And he was like, ooh. So he perked up. That's
hilarious.
Seeding
man.
matters, people. Seeding matters.
It does.
You know what I mean?
Play the wrong matchup, get you an early exit.
Exactly.
Talk about seeding matters. San Francisco 49ers going to Dallas. This is I just love this nostalgia matchup for me.
Yes, sir.
Like this is turning on like the late 90s, turning on TV and watching the NFL on Fox playoffs.
Yep.
Just getting into the football. You know what I mean? Just figuring out who you're pulling for, who you want to win. It was always Dallas and the 49ers. This is their 8th matchup in the postseason.
Yeah. Yep. And honestly, I think you get an old school gritty matchup.
I can't wait.
Dallas has to figure out how to run the ball better. I don't know what's going on with Pollard or anything like that. Zeke had a good game. I want to say it was like not this past one, or maybe it was. I don't know, but like they need more from the running game.
Yeah.
Overall,
Pollard's got to come back for sure.
You can put it on Dak. You can. But I don't think they want to do that, Drew. I don't think they want to do that.
No, especially with that defense that they got to go up against. You know what I mean? With Warner in the middle, you can't. Prescott can't have these lazy, throwing behind the receiver over the middle passes because it's going to end up in the 49ers' hands. You know what I mean? This is not a team to make those mistakes against.
Well, and Dallas is opportunistic too, so I think that adds another like their defense.
I mean, you gotta think off gates. Garoppolo is gonna throw 2 picks.
I think so. I think you definitely get a Jimmy G pick this game. The question is hopefully it's early, not late. Hopefully it's not too bad of a point in the game where they have to have it.
But you got to think Micah gets one, Diggs gets one. We'll see. I don't know.
Well, see, this is the thing. Like for San Fran and for the way that talking about stats earlier, how they don't matter. But like I think coming into this game, San Fran runs the ball. If Dallas is weak in an area of the defense, it is run defense. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna have to put their big boy hats on. They're gonna need to come to play. Micah, I know, can give you run defense. It's the rest of the pass rushing unit of that defense that I'm a little suspect on. If they can bring it, it should be a day. But San Francisco, they're going to run the ball. I don't know if they'll be able to pass the ball as much. We'll see. But innovative Shanahan might get it done. So
this is the definition of I truly don't care who wins. I just can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Best games.
Like,
best games.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. Well, a game that carries a little more weight in my household, Pittsburgh Steelers at the Kansas City Chiefs. Could be Big Ben's last ride. Could be Pat Mahomes sending him off to pasture. And I hope that's how it plays out.
Yeah, I'm sure for you, your household, you do. I'm pretty sure let's hope that happens for you. But definitely, like, I don't, in this game, weirdly enough, not only for your household, because like I love you and I hope your household still maintains its sanity. But I think we need the Chiefs in the playoffs. Of course. What are we gonna do with Pittsburgh actually pulls this game out? Like, and this is what I was gonna say earlier. Drew was like,
it's chaos.
For as cooked as Ben Roethlisberger is, why do you ask him to throw the ball 44 times for
every
200 yards?
Game? We ask that every week. Like, why did Big Ben throw the ball that much?
I don't know.
Why did Big Ben throw the ball that much?
You gotta
the man's has zero flexibility left. He barely can get his hand over his arm. He's just like, look, if next time, just you can't unsee it once you see it. Look at my man's face when he throws the ball.
Yeah.
Like the camera zoomed straight in on one of his throws on Sunday. He's like, I got nothing left.
turmoil,
Oh.
strife on that man's face. Like,
is my shoulder still in? I don't know.
That's what you pay medical staff for. Nah, it's crazy, but I want to say, like, I don't know what the Steelers are going to bring to the table, but I hope for the Steelers fans' sake that Dancing Tomlin makes his way down the aisle again, baby. Mike Tomlin, what a wholesome display of emotion yesterday from Mike Tomlin, dancing in the room with his squad, baby. Let's go.
I'm so conflicted because I love Mike Tomlin so much, but I hate the Pittsburgh Steelers so much. Dude, you know what I mean? Like, I would love Tomlin just be like, my time here in Pittsburgh's done. Let me go somewhere else.
Yeah. And when and eventually, if it keeps on the same train, they'll let him go, and somebody will get their next Super Bowl winning coach. I'm sure of it.
Because he's still so young.
Yeah.
He's had so much success, but he's still what is he, 40 something, maybe 50?
Yeah. I think probably still one of the younger coaches in the league.
Because he started out in his like early 30s, right? Like he was the original young buck.
Yep.
Signed as a coach.
I'm even though like
Mike Tomlin's 49 years old.
There you go. I think this game has the biggest blowout potential, but Steelers going to Steeler, so they'll be competitive. I just want to see what Kansas City brings to the table. If they're dominant, they're about to make a run. But if they falter,
this is a good gauge. Yep, I'll give you that.
It might not bode so well, especially even good on them that they don't have to travel. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, good on them. So we'll see.
All right. Well, our last playoff game, we got divisional foes. Arizona Cardinals didn't win the division, so now they got to go to LA, play the Rams.
Yeah.
Both kind of stumbled into this game. You know what I mean? Like, neither one of them were playing lights out football.
No.
So I don't know about you, but this is the game I feel the most unsure about.
Very unsure, which is why I'm glad.
I'm so glad you picked the NFC. Yeah, I'm so glad when you said I want the NFC. I'm like, thank God.
Yeah. It is tough, but that's what we do here. That's what we do here. Nah, man, this game, like, Arizona had a chance. They got to travel now. Hopefully, because it's in LA, like, for them, their fans will travel as well. Get behind that team in LA. But I think, like, something is telling me that they were kind of hoping to see a division rival, because that way they know everything that there is to know about the team that they're going to face. You know what I mean? Being such a young team.
McVay is like that he's got to have that aspect of it. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, I need the playbook on this team.
Well, yeah. And I want to say, like, I'm not sure, but did they split this year? Like, did them boys split this year? I can't. Let's go to the schedule real quick. But I want to say Arizona got at least one of those games, and something is like kind of in me that, like, the Arizona defense is going to come to play, and if they come to play, then I think you can expect more. Yeah, they split. Of a roller coaster with Matt Stafford in a big spot. Again, Matt Stafford is a guy who has not been in the playoffs very much. Like, it just hasn't happened. So I think that's why Kyler Murray to a lesser extent too, but, like, Matt Stafford has had way more time to overthink things. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know what you don't know. So if you haven't been there before, a la Kyler Murray, you might just do some stuff that is spectacular that you wouldn't normally do. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I like Connor's coming back. I just don't. And the defense, honestly, for as great as that defense is, Von Miller with another sack yesterday, Drew, bro, they got gashed yesterday on the ground. Yeah. Gashed.
Yeah. Rams lost to the Cardinals 37-20 in week 4. And then they met again week 14, and the Rams won 30-23. So both teams giving up points.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But the game that the Rams won, a lot closer than the one that they lost.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. it's very hard to trust Matt Stafford right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Watch him come be the MVP of the playoffs now. Watch him just be lights
I
out.
hope not. I hope not. Because that's one team that that's I'll be honest, the two teams that I did not want to see. One, we didn't have to worry about the Saints. You're home. Have fun. But the Rams, and honestly, the Rams and the Cardinals, I'm glad that they're playing each other because I didn't want to see either one of these teams first. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to see one of these teams.
That's fair. That's fair. And if that one of them wins and Dallas wins, y'all play Dallas, and they play
right. And Dallas have to come to us again.
Yeah.
You know, so like, yeah.
I think we all kind of wanted that matchup at some point, after watching Week 1. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Teams look a little bit different, though. Teams look a little bit
Very
different.
Very true. All right. Well, let's get into these locks because I'm sitting at 18 and 16. I went 0-2 last week. I stumbled.
Yeah. Stumbled going to the playoffs. Not good.
Nah, you went 1-1, so you're 19 and 15. So you're saying there's a chance.
I can't get a freaking 2-0 week to save my life, man, this NFL season. Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah. These locks got us this year. All right. So you're going to take the NFC. I'm going to take the AFC. Your NFC matchup seemed a little bit tougher. So I'll go first. Go ahead and get the AFC out of the way. Save the NFC for and we'll just go in the order that they were there. Raiders, Bengals. I got to go Bengals. I got to think Burrow and that offense gets it done. I think it's going to be another shootout like we saw. But I do think that the Bengals defensive front line gets to Carr a little bit better than the Chargers did.
Okay. Yeah, that's the.
You got to think Hendrickson gets in there. You know what I mean? You got to think.
For as good as he's been, yes, sir. I think they will be a little bit of a problem. Like we were talking about earlier, man. I'm just curious to see if that Raider defensive line gets after it again. Like,
very true. I would hate to see Crosby on that line again. You know what I mean? My man's running around his room right now, just like I'm ready to
go. Yep. Nah, man. All right. So I'm going with my first one. Who's you know the order of the matchup. So I'll just let you.
Eagles, Bucks.
Eagles, Bucks. I got Bucks win, man. I got Bucks winning. I think what you saw yesterday is exactly what it'll take to win this game. Couple of big plays mixed in with some timely, innovative plays, and also kind of not really deep shots. That's not what the Bucks are doing these days. They're not going deep down the field without those receivers. So it will need to be more of an intermediate game. I think that's what they get. Offensive line is protecting the fuck out of Tom Brady right now. So
dude's got all day.
Yeah.
All day. I still want to steal Jensen from him.
Yeah. A lot of teams do, but with that offensive line, and that's what I'm saying, like with that offensive line, I think the strength in the Eagles, that defensive line is kind of negated a little bit. I think our offensive line is better than their defensive line. So that's what really the game comes down to. I think we win it.
All right. My second matchup, I have the Mafia coming through. I think the Bills take care of the Patriots. I'm coming down to Josh Allen versus Mac Jones. And I'm giving the tip of the hat to Josh Allen.
Yeah.
I think Josh Allen is going to die on that field tomorrow before he loses.
He's going to carry some limbs off for sure. Like, yeah.
And Diggs will be right there with him. Diggs is going to sacrifice himself for the greater good too.
Well, and that's what players are apt to do in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's time for it. And I'm with you. I just don't think there's any way that they let that team come in there and beat them in this situation. I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. It's too much at stake. Too much livelihood.
They've conquered the Pats. They don't want to, take a step back. You know what I mean? They're the cream of the crop of the AFC East now. They're not letting that go.
Yep.
All right. Well, yeah. Who you got? 49ers at Cowboys.
49ers at Cowboys, man. I think Jimmy G makes too many mistakes, man. Like, I think that's what it may come down to. So I got Dallas. Dallas Cowboy fans rejoice. Y'all get a win in the playoffs. Who knew? Like y'all been looking. Ooh. Y'all been looking. Ooh. Huh? And you get one, goddamn. You get one.
Hey, like, good for them.
Damn. Y'all finally get one, man. But being at home definitely helps. You know Dallas is gonna pack that place out. I think very little San Francisco fans get let in the building. They just keep them in the holding cell down there. It's gonna be loud. It's gonna be loud.
Funny. I never even thought about a stadium keeping the other fans out of the building.
Is your ticket? No, sir. Just fake. Fake news. Get out of here.
That is hilarious. Well, no drama here. Chiefs take care of the Steelers.
Yeah.
Continue that playoff run.
Yeah. I think it's bound to happen. Hopefully Big Ben don't go out like a bitch though. You know what I'm saying? Like
I'm pulling for him too.
Many people are, especially
I want him to leave one
lady fans. Yes. One last stripe face. Oh man. But yeah, I think this is the game. And they were playing with house money anyway, Drew.
Right.
House money.
Shouldn't have been there in the first place. We should be getting Carr versus Mahomes and Burrow versus Herbert 2.2 version 2.0.
If the Raiders meet the Chiefs and the Raiders happen to win that game,
oof.
I do not want to actually, no, I do. I want to party with the Raiders fans. That's what I want to do if that happens. Damn.
In hell.
But nah, get into this game, bro.
Could be the game of the week.
It could
steal the show because I don't know who's going to win.
And I will say the last couple of games of the week that we have delivered to a T. Yeah. We know how to pick.
I'd say this would be our marquee matchup per se.
Yes, sir. I think maybe what I've said in the past couple minutes have kind of alluded to it, but I have the Cardinals coming into LA and shocking this LA team. The way Stafford's been going, the way Stafford has been going, I believe in this Cardinals defense and the way that they're
especially
playing
if they get Watt back.
That's
going to be an emotional boost shot in the arm right there.
And maybe the emotional boost in the playoffs puts you over the top. Anything you need, you know what I'm saying? So I think the Cardinals get it done. It's going to be the defense. And honestly, I think if the defense starts to play well, Kyler might be ready to light it up because he don't want to get out. He
does feed off of that team.
Right. You know? So it could snowball on them boys, especially if it's say Cardinals get up 10-0, 14-0, 14-7. Might be
Stafford's got to take some chances.
Might be a wrap. So yeah,
Connor can take him home. You know, yep. I just wish D-Hop was playing, man. That's all. That's the only thing that hurts me.
Yeah.
I just feel like we lost a season.
Is he done for the year? Is he done for the year?
I haven't seen anything where it's talking about he's coming back. So I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe if they get past this, he can play against Green Bay.
The further they go, maybe the longer
no one's talking updates, and that's not usually a good sign.
You're right. You are right. But the good on the Cardinals, though, that they are in a position that they actually have other weapons. AJ Green's been getting a little bit more involved. He's not a deep threat anymore, honestly.
He's been dropping.
That's what I'm saying. So, at least he's getting a little bit more involved. Christian Kirk elevating. Let's go.
And I think Zach Ertz is going to be the X factor too. I think he's got to be spot on in the middle of that field because that might be the one soft spot in that Rams defense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Get Ertz over the center.
Unless Ramsey's covering his ass, though, which they might do.
True that. Especially if they don't have to, if Green's not jumping on it right from the get-go, you know?
Yep.
Because he doesn't have to worry about Hopkins. Okay. This gonna be a great game. All right. Sir. Well, hey, we're here for the playoffs. Shawn, where can they find you on social media, sir?
At the Kid Suds, at nickel_dom FB on Twitter, at the illustrious nickel_dom football on IG. You sweet people, you like and subscribe and follow us, man. It's actually helped a lot. We love you. Thank you for the uptick in the numbers. We love to see it. We want to keep bringing the content to you. Drew, sir,
Keep 'em
where
going.
can they find your content at, my guy?
I like to just hang out on Instagram, man. I'm at Laugh with Harrison on Instagram. It's my happy place. You know what I mean? It doesn't seem political or opinionated like Facebook. It's just happy puppy videos.
Yes.
And football memes. And that's all I want in life.
We don't have a Facebook. That's not unintentional.
And we never will.
Never will. We never will.
But hit us up on Instagram, Twitter. We love interacting with you guys. Hit us with those. We'll still take your team updates if you want to send them in for the playoffs. If you're looking forward to the draft, i.e. my Panthers fans, number 6 pick, hit us up on that too, man. But stick with us. It's going to be a great playoffs. I can't wait to get into it with you next week. See you then. Thank you.